Hi, I'm Laura Anthony from ABC 7 News. Welcome to a forum of candidates running for the office of Contra Costa County Auditor Controller. Today's forum is sponsored by the Contra Costa Elections Division, the League of Women Voters of Diablo Valley, and the League of Women Voters of West Contra Costa County. We're recording these roundtables here in the studio of Contra Costa Television with some crew assistance from the city of Walnut Creek. The Contra Costa County Auditor Controller position is responsible for ensuring the integrity of the county's financial records. The auditor handles property taxes, payroll, and accounts payable, in addition to acting as the county's chief accounting officer. The candidates are Ayore Reunda and Robert Campbell, who could not attend today's forum. Joining me now, Mr. Reunda, thanks so much for being with us today. First of all, I think people need to know, what does the auditor controller actually do?
The auditor controller is the chief accounting officer in charge of making sure the accounting books are fine and correct, and all the records are kept accurately, the budgets are well done and followed. And of course, he has the mandate from the state government to make sure that those government agencies are using the money correctly, so he can audit them at any time and report to the Board of Supervisors.
And that's certainly an important thing during certainly our current times when money is so tight at the county level, right?
Yes, Laura.
If you're elected, what is your first priority?
So my first priority is to make sure that we improve the customer service at the office, so we are more accountable to the public, more transparent, and of course ensuring that all the departments and the county agencies are using our dollars correctly. So I'll implement more stringent audit procedures and processes to make sure that everything is done correctly so that we are more accountable to the public. So because we are stewards of the county dollars and the public.
Do you have experience with the office, with the direct experience here in Contra Costa County? Are there some things that you've experienced or seen that maybe could be done better?
Yes, I have more than 33 years of professional financial management experience. I've worked with the county for more than 21 years. I work closely with the office, and we do financial reports, budgets for the county, various divisions. And of course, I manage the doctors in the hospital, and we pay the contracts, and then sometimes the customer service is not very good, and departments complain of the issues and changing processes without notifying them. I remember a case we had doctors' demands. They stopped paying them for 3 weeks. Usually this is their payroll and they depend on this. And then when I followed up, I called the incumbent, and he said, well, the contract says we pay them per hour, and now this person worked half an hour. The contract doesn't say you prorate, but I think it's kind of obvious. So some things like that, so that is not clear, and so that they had to hold it until the contracts are amended. And that was an hardship to the contractors and the people who would provide services to. So something like, and then also we have labor relations, personnel issues, that the better morale can be improved, so. We've had this conversation, and some changes have been made, but I think the office can do better than that.
Do you think it's a matter of making changes within the office, or do you think it's a matter of adding staff? I mean, are the resources there, but maybe they could be managed better? Yes,
they could be managed better, and then of course, if there are limitations of reaching out to other agencies or departments, we can get more funding, work with this Board of Supervisors to give us more allocation so that we can have more resources to do what needs to be done. How
do you think your positions differ from that of your opponent?
So my position differs in that I think it's more reserved. It says, well, we have the guidelines from the state. We are supposed to follow this and this, but limited discretion. But I disagree that he has enough discretion. He has the mandate, and he can get more funding if he needs to, because you have to analyze cost-benefit analysis. If it takes, you add more funds, but then the reward is going to be more to the county and the citizen of Contra Costa, so it behooves him to make the request and make the changes. And in terms of personnel management also, of course, as I mentioned, some of those improvements can be done without additional funding. being required.
How do you think Contra Costa County is doing in terms of managing its unfunded pension liability, and what would you do going forward? It's such a huge issue for counties statewide.
Well, the county has done very well so far. So it's brought it down, so we paid it down by more than 70% over in the span of 6-7 years, and we're doing very well. We're right behind the footsteps of San Francisco County, did very well. They have a program in place, and our supervisors and other consultants have worked well on that. So we're doing well, and we're following it, make sure that everything goes fine.
How have you been able to do well? How have you made
So as we paid down, it's been paid down drastically, and then we are managing our resources, working with labor unions, managing wages and other costs. So we're leveraging the dollars we have, and then at the same time trying to reward our staff so that they just give them what they deserve and protect their promises that we've made to them in their retirement, but at the same time being able to execute the mandate that we have.
The office still issues many paper checks, but a large part of the financial transactions are now electronic. This has certainly been a big issue in the news and privacy and protection of personal information. How would you ensure, as these transactions go forward more on the electronic side, that they remain secure?
So this is one of the things that we'd like to work on, because we've done electronic medical records, we've done electronic payroll. Now we can make strides. We can do electronic payments for the vendors, electronic statements. So this is something that going forward, we're going to make sure we're working with the other professional enterprises that will ensure it's safe and secure, and on the websites, making our websites secure, and make sure that we have the protocol to ensure there's no breach.
Do you think that they're secure now, or do you think there could be some improvements?
Well, they're somewhat secure, but there'll be improvement. There's always room for improvement because we have new technology that comes around, and new resources and new ideas that come. So there's always room for improvement.
How can internal safeguards to ensure integrity and guard against misuse of funds be strengthened?
So that's why I said I'm going to go implement more stringent audit regimens, so to make sure that we can audit the agencies, the departments, make sure they follow the budgets, make sure they follow the guidelines, the federal regulations, state regulations, and other funding agencies' requirements. So that's why I'm going to do more review, and if I need more funding, I'll request that. As I said, I think the department can do more.
Do you think it's been a big issue, a big problem?
Yes, I think it's been a big problem. There's a lot of waste and a lot of mismanagement, lacks in other departments. So more oversight is needed. That's why I say the department can do more. But there is hope, because when I get in there, we're going to improve things. And so the Contra Costa County citizens can be aware and be calm, knowing that changes are coming.
I think it's one of those departments, too, where people don't really think about it until there might be a problem, right? Or
Yes.
until it's a headline in the newspaper, right? Would you prefer to stay out of the headlines?
Absolutely. So that's why we have to be proactive and make sure we're just always looking at what could go wrong, and let's make sure we have processes in place to prevent that. Make sure that staff are trained, and then they have the equipment and the resources they need to do the job right.
You talked about it a little bit with regard to the hospital, but what would you do to better improve efficiencies in the Auditor Controller's department to work better with some of the other county departments, maybe beyond the hospital, for instance?
So, well, we're going to have open communication. We're going to have channels of feedback, so that the departments can provide feedback and make sure that those feedbacks, if they are necessary, that they implement it. So make sure that things are happening. So we'll do a customer survey, satisfaction survey, so that departments and agencies and even the public can just provide input. We'll revamp our website, make sure it's more user-friendly and it's more interactive to the public, so people can go in there if you want to know where your tax dollars are going. For example, you can just put in your address, or you can just check in and see where things are going. So there has to be more transparency so that we are more accountable to the public.
And I guess if money were no object, what would be the one major improvement that you think you could make to this department if you could win the lottery, for instance?
Well, as I said, okay, this is going to be the best run department because we're going to set the standard and we're going to make sure that we have the staff have high morale, they're satisfied, and then it will set an example to the other county departments. Right now, there's high turnover. We train staff and they leave. Same thing as the county. It's a revolving door, so we have a lot of good people who are trained and then they just leave, not only because of the low wages, because the county is way at the bottom, even though we're the largest one of the largest counties with a lot of money, and but we're not paying our staff well. So we're gonna, if the money was no issue, we get our staff well paid, and the unfunded liability will not be an issue. So we're gonna have high productivity, high customer satisfaction. We'll be responsive to the public and provide better customer service.
And again, do you think you could see a way to give, for instance, staff wage increases without, being in a perfect world or winning the lottery? Do you think you could do that?
Yes, it's doable. Right now we have a lot of funds, we have a lot of money in the reserve, so we can do that working with the labor unions. I'm a labor union organizer. I'm a treasurer of a labor union, so working with the labor and other agencies or consultants, the board of supervisors, because I talk to all of them. I talk to each one of them, and I can work well with them and with other agencies to make sure that we reward our staff, and so that they will be able to be happy and be able to live comfortably, because we need to be able to provide living wages so that they can be productive and not have to run out to another county or other agencies.
All right, well, thank you to our candidate for answering some of these important questions. Each candidate, or our one candidate who is here today, will now have 90 seconds to make a closing statement.
I'm honored to be able to represent the county again. I've worked for the citizens of Contra Costa for more than 21 years. I've also worked for the citizens of Contra Costa and the entire country for more than 21 years in the U.S. Navy. I'm a commissioned U.S. Navy, a combat logistician, and I've done many financial issues related transactions and management, big budgets. I was able to bring about more than $400 million to the county to improve behavioral health services and ensure that we have more than $40 million of additional funding every year. And so working with all agencies and the Board of Supervisors, who I have a very good working relationship with, and other departments, I'll make sure that we have very good working relationship and high efficiency at the department. I'll hold the agencies accountable, make sure they're using your money correctly, and I'll be honored to help move the country forward and the county forward. So I look forward for your support. I'd like to be your voice. Vote for me. Thank you.
Once again, the candidates are Robert Campbell and Ayore Reunda. For more information on the candidates, visit the website votersedge.org. To view this broadcast online, go to www.cocovote.us. I'm Laura Anthony from ABC 7 News. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to vote on June 5th.